Yes, your screen is visible, Swapnil. Yes.
Yes, sir. So, hello everyone. This is a 9-day workshop on cybersecurity and ethical hacking by Inferno InfoSec. Please look at the disclaimer. Anything that is taught in the seminar or workshop is strictly for educational purpose only. We or Inferno InfoSec won't be held responsible for the consequence of the wrong or illegal use of the knowledge shared here. So guys, please take it seriously. Please don't try to manipulate any data because this is illegal and you might face problems ahead. So please look at this. A small note about Inferno InfoSec. It is based on Marotra and also providing certified information security expert courses and conduct awareness workshops and seminars at different schools and colleges. It is working with Gujarat Cyber Cell and also taking WAP projects for testing purposes. Small introduction of myself. I'm Palak Ampade, a student at IIIT Vadodara, and my field of interests are ethical hacking and web development. So let's get started with the workshop. Our topic for today's workshop is OWASP Top 10. Topics covered will be web pen testing, vulnerability, OWASP Top 10, information gathering, cross-site scripting, parameter tampering, and HTML injection. So before starting it, can anyone tell me what is pen testing? Like anyone would like to answer what exactly is pen testing? You can just on your mic. Okay, sure. Anyone would like to answer? Okay, I got answers. Finding loopholes in the website, exploiting vulnerabilities. Okay. Thank you, Shivansh and Nupur. Okay, you're somehow right. Let me let me continue with the definition of it. So, web pen testing, also known as penetration testing or ethical hacking, is the practice of testing a computer system, network, or web application to find security vulnerability that an attacker could exploit. So, the main objective of penetration testing is to identify security weakness or weak spots in an organization, and therefore, a penetration test can highlight weakness in a company's security policies. As Shivan suggested that yes, it helps in finding loopholes in the website. So that's what is web pen testing. Now, as I said, it is to find security vulnerabilities. Now, what exactly is vulnerabilities? Let's check this. In cybersecurity, a vulnerability is a weakness which can be exploited by a cyber attack to gain unauthorized access to or perform unauthorized actions on a computer system. So we can say vulnerabilities can allow attackers to run code, access a system's memory, install malware, and steal, destroy, or modify sensitive data. So you can see vulnerability is of huge impact in companies and organizations. Now, these are some key points which are important and basic terms in ethical hacking: authorization, authentication, and vulnerability assessment. Now, I've seen many of the young generation and people are confused between authorization and authentication. So, first up, let's see what is authorization. The organization gives official permission to access something or do something with the network or application. Now I'll explain it with example. For example, an organization gives permission to access the admin panel and to make changes for the organization. So it means that you are authorized for that company because the company is giving you permission to access the admin panel and make the changes. So you are an authorized person. Now next up we have authentication. It ensures and confirms the user identity to enter the system. For example, to enter the examination hall, you need to show your identity card, right? But whenever you give an exam or in examination hall, you need to show your identity card, and then they allow you to yes that you are authenticated. So that's what it is authentication calls. In the same way, you need to confirm your identity by logging in with your credentials to enter the system or web application. That's why you need a login system in every web application, and that's the point you are authenticated as a user. Next up, we have vulnerability assessment to identify the risks or threats in a network or web app. As I suggested you in web pen testing, we find vulnerabilities. It is to identify the risk or threats. It will help the organization to make their web application more secure. Now, this is the OWASP top 10 list. So, uh, before moving towards the list, let's see what is OWASP top 10. So, OWASP is the Open Web Application Security Project, an international non-profit organization dedicated to web application security. So, OWASP Top 10 is regularly updated. Report outlining security concerns of web application security, focusing on the top 10 most critical risks. So, these are the top 10 most critical risks till date. And this is the top 10 list. Now, I'll be explaining it very briefly, the top 10 list. So, listen carefully. First is injection. These attacks happen when untrusted data is sent to a code interpreter through a form input or some other data submission to a web. For example, an attacker could enter SQL database code into a form. Like if you see a form, it tells you to input your name, age, and whatever information they want to have. So that expects a plain text. So this will result in SQL code being executed. There are many kinds of injection: SQL injection, HTML injection. So if a word is injected, is there executed, then it is prone to injection vulnerability. Now we have broken authentication. Vulnerability is an authentication, that is login system can give attackers access to user account and even the ability to compromise an entire system using admin account. So yes, it's really a high medium vulnerability. For example, an attacker can take a list containing thousands of known username or password combinations, and yes, it is available everywhere. If you search in GitHub to the most common username and password, you'll get it like easily. So the attacker can try all those combinations on a login system to see if any of that username or password works. So that's why we have two-factor authentication. You have seen in many apps or web applications that you have two-factor authentication. It is for this reason, because this vulnerability can attack. Moving towards the third one, sensitive data exposure. If web apps don't protect sensitive data such as financial information and passwords, attacker can gain access to the data. So we can see that somehow, as a web, like if you are a web developer, you must be familiar that if you are developing something, then some information is reflected on the front end, even if you don't want to. So just take a look at that, and it shouldn't be, because it is a sensitive data exposure. The fourth one is XML and external entities, XEE. So this is an attack against a web application that passes XML input. So it is a technique used to manipulate or compromise the logic of XML application or services. An XML parser can be duped into sending data to an unauthorized external identity, which can sensitive data directly to an attacker. Yes, it is very difficult to find in web applications, because it's crucial one, because you need to be thorough with the XML topic. The fifth one is quick scripting or XScript. So it occurs when an application has to add custom code into a URL path or onto a website that will seem that will be seen by other users. So if you inject something and it has been seen by all the users using it, then yes, you are into the web of XSS. So we'll be discussing this XSS topic more after some time. So moving towards the sixth topic, security misconfiguration. Now it is the most common vulnerability on the list. Uh, and it is often the result of using default configurations or displaying excessively explained errors. Now, if you're familiar with us, even a small part of developing, like how the development process goes, so you can see that if you get an error, then you you get an error with more it is explained more, which may contain some sensitive information. For example, an application could show a user overly descriptive errors which may reveal vulnerabilities in the application. So as a developer, you must concern this point that no extra errors are being seen by the users. Now the seventh topic, the seventh item we have, using components with known vulnerabilities. Many modern developers use components such as libraries and frameworks in the web applications. For example, Angular. I think you heard about Angular. It's a framework in web development. So, Angular and other small libraries that use to add or share icons. So, some attackers may look for vulnerabilities in these components and can enter and attack the web application security. So, if you are using some frameworks, make sure you know it thoroughly because the framework may contain any vulnerabilities even. So, moving towards the eighth one, parameter tampering. It is based on the manipulation of parameters exchanged between client and server in order to modify the data, such as credentials and permissions. So, this is a very interesting topic, especially for me, because this you can literally manipulate any data you want. And we will discuss this topic more nicely after some time. The ninth one, we have IDOR attack. So what does IDOR stand for? It stands for Insecure Direct Object Reference. It is a vulnerability in which a user is able to access and make changes to the data or any other user present in the system. So if you are entering any website and you just want to vote for a person. Suppose there are two persons A and B, and you want to vote for A, but somehow the vote is went to B. So there is some other person who is trying to manipulate your data. So this is IDOR attack. Now the last topic, open redirection. It arises when an application incorporates user controllable data into the target of a redirection in an unsafe way. So I think many of you are familiar with open redirection because you are under it actually. Because when you see when you enter a website, and many of you like don't have such Netflix or Amazon Prime accounts, so you try to download it from any fake website, any website. So when you try to see new content, you are without you are redirected to some other website. So this is that it means that you are under an attack. So this is open redirection. For example, an attacker can construct a URL within the application and causes a redirection to an arbitrary domain or the different website. So this is open redirection. So this was the OWASP top 10 list. Now our next topic is information gathering. So it is the first and the crucial step or the beginning stage of ethical hacking. Now, why it is important? Information gathering is important because if you are finding a vulnerability in a website, then it is important to know the background of organization and the website. So therefore, information gathering is the act of gathering different kinds of information against the target or victim or system. So information gathering is broken into two main logical steps. The first one is passive information gathering and the second one is active information gathering. Now we'll take a look at it. So passive information gathering. It's the process we are collecting information about the targets using publicly available information. Yes, some informations are available publicly to all the users. For example, email system or the full name of the organization and even the number. So this information contained within each email delivery process. Moving towards the second one, the active information gathering. We can gather more information about the target website by interacting with them, like to conduct port scans for open ports on the target or conduct scans to determine what services are running. So we can just scan the port for open ports to target it. So this was the difference between passive and active information gathering. Now we'll see the most common types of information services, that is who is information and reverse IP lookup. Who is it is for who is information, it is a query and response protocol that is widely used for query databases that store the registered users or assignees of internet resource such as domain name or IP address block. So this information is available publicly, like full name, contact number, or email address. Now I'll show you a short demo of it. There are many websites you can search for, but I'm personally using whoisnet. So just note the website. If you are having a copy and a pen, please just note this website, whois.net. So if I'm searching any website, suppose whois.com. So let's search and let's see what information. Okay. So we are seeing the domain name, whois.com. And also we can see the contact email. You can see abusecontact@, public domain registry.com. And if you can even see the contact number. So you can see all these informations are publicly shown. So we can see this information is publicly shown and you can track many other websites for this. So next we have reverse IP lookup. So this is the technique known as reverse IP lookup, is a way to identify host names that have DNS, domain name system records, associates with IP address. Now, to understand it nicely, I'll tell you, so sometimes multiple websites are hosted on one server. Like you are familiar with it, like many websites are hosted in a single server. So these websites may belong to same organization or different organization. So basically, reverse IP lookup looks up the IP address and gives the list of all the domains running on the same server or IP address. So I'll give you a demo for this too. There are many websites where you can see, but I'll be using yougetsignal.com. Please note this website as well, yougetsignal.com, for reverse IP lookup. Now, here you can see, search bar, you can like type any website, google.com. Let's check. So you can see there are 380 domains hosted on the same web server as google.com. So there are 384. So there is a big list of it. So before doing pen testing to any web application, just ensure that you are familiar with all these things. So if you are pen testing in websites and servers, so we need to gather information about those two. Now first is getting an idea about the technology being used. So what do you mean by technology? You can search for frameworks to see the programming language used, or the hosting providers to see where the website is hosted, or the web server to see the server software being used. For example, there are many websites for this, but I'll be using www.buildwith.com. Please note this as well, and I'll show you how it is done. Now you can just search any. Right? I'll be searching Netflix. Okay. Yes, you can see all the information. about it. Like you can see the frameworks they use: PHP, Java, EE, Perl, Adobe, Cold Fusion, Facebook domain verification. And this is important because if you are pen testing, you must be familiar with what kind of frameworks or language they use, so that you can easily insert malicious scripts right there. So frameworks, as well as we can see the payments they use: Euro, Apple Pay, PayPal, and you can see HTML5, require JS. You can see the advertising partners as well, and web web hosting services: Amazon Elastic Load Balancing, name server, web servers they use Apache, and so you can see there are many information is available there. So please note this website builtwith.com. Second, we have looking at the history of the website. So what exactly is this? So you can go to the year you want to see what the website actually looked back then. Check out the screenshots taken on any day and also see the website as it was on that day. So this is the website I'll be using: web.archive.org. Please note this as well. So you can search any website or even your institute's website to see how it looked back then. I'll be just using some random Amazon.in, and let's see how it looks back then. See, you can look at 2019, 18, 17, or 15 or 14. Let's check out how it looked at 2014, and you can select any date you want. So it has been redirected to Amazon.in, and you can see how it actually looked in 2014. So this was the front end and how it actually looked in. And you can even find vulnerabilities here as well. Maybe it is vulnerability in the present website as well. So yes, it is necessary. So you can see how it looked back then. Third one is finding related subdomains of a given domain. For example, host records. It will to see a list of all the subdomains of a given domain. Now, why it is important to search for subdomains as well? Because if you're searching for Amazon.in, so you will only know Amazon.in, but there are many other subdomains under it, and you should actually find vulnerabilities in them too, because they are part of web because they are part of web application. So for doing this, I'll be using dnsdumpster.com. Note this website as well. I'll be showing you the demo. Please note all the websites that I'm saying for your for your knowledge. And okay, I'll just search google.com. So yes, we got the results, and you can see a host records A. So we can see a list of all the subdomains website has or has had in the past. It is not necessary that it is present now also, but it has or has had in the past. So you can see all the subdomains related to google.com. So there is a big list of it. So just explore this information gathering techniques. So that's all about information gathering information from the servers. Now, as we discussed, I'll be explaining more about cross-site scripting. So it is a client-side code injection attack. I think we discussed it earlier as well in the OWASP top 10 list. The attacker aims to execute malicious JavaScript in a web server of the victim by including malicious code in a legitimate web page or web application. So there are three types of accesses: reflected, stored, and DOM-based. We will look each one by one. First is reflected. So it arises when an application receives data in an HTTP request and includes the data within the immediate response in an unsafe way. So you can see in URL that if you are writing something in your input or an input text field, so it is visible on the URL as well. So here you can see here is a short example, like if you are writing a message or in a text field, it will be available in URL for all the best, and it is reflected on the website itself, giving the status all the best, and it is a HTML code P and P tag. It is an HTML code. So you can see all the best is reflected on your website itself. So if it is reflected and if it is reflected and if you inject some JavaScript code in there, then it is reflected accesses because it is being executed and reflected in your web application. So this is reflected accesses. The next up we have stored accesses. Now it arises when an application receives a data from an untrusted source and includes the data within its later HTTP responses in an unsafe way. Now here is a HTML code again. So it is saying, hello, this is my message. So if it is like if you're writing this in a text field or any text area, so if you're putting some JavaScript in there and if it is executed, only if it is executed, then it is vulnerable to accesses. And also if you are again logging into the system and yet the vulnerability is still there and it is reflected on the web application, then it is stored because it is being the executed JavaScript is being stored there. So it is stored accesses. The third one we have DOM-based accesses. So it arises when application contains some client-side JavaScript that processes data from an untrusted source in an unsafe way, usually by writing the data back to the DOM. Now here is some JavaScript code written here for search, and here search is the vulnerable parameter. So you are thinking what may be get element by ID if you're not familiar with JavaScript. So let's discuss something about get element by ID. So this is the JavaScript method which returns the element that has the ID attribute with the specified value. It is used when you want to manipulate or get information from an element on your document. So basically you are submitting your information. So it is get element by search. So if you are searching for something, it will be stored in the results and then it will be reflected in your web application. So search, as I said, search is the vulnerable parameter here. So if you inject any XSS code in there, in JavaScript code in there, and if it is executed, then it is vulnerable to XSS. Now I'll give a small demo of it. This is a website, vulnerweb.com. Please wait for it. Okay. Very vulnerable for practicing ethical hacking and seeing the small vulnerabilities in it. So it is already vulnerable site. So you can see a search option here. So if I inject some JavaScript code here and if it is reflected, only then it is vulnerable to access. Now what I'll be injecting here is just a simple JavaScript code. So I hope it is you're familiar little bit about it, that it is a JavaScript code and the alert one is a alert box which will be executed, and if the alert box appears, then it is vulnerable to XSS. I hope it's visible to you. Fine. So this is the payload I'll be using to check if it has XSS or not. So go. And yes, you can see a alert box with saying 1 because what I did was alert and in the brackets 1. So yes, it is vulnerable to XSS. So you can find this vulnerability if you want to. It is present in many text field area which is reflected in any text field area which is reflected in your web application. So search for it. So we can see XSS can carry out any action that the user is able to perform or read any data that the user is able to access or capture users login and or even capture users login credentials. Now the mitigation techniques. Mitigation, what do you mean by mitigation techniques? It is to avoid excesses happening. So let's see some points. The first is filter input on arrival. At the point where user input is received, when the user input is received, filter as strictly as possible based on what is expected, or validated. So, so if a developer is developing something, you must ensure that it is be strictly filtered based on what is expected or validated. The second one is encode data on output. So what it means that at the point where user controllable data is output in HTTP response, encode the output to prevent it from being interrupted as active content. So as an active content, so encode it. So you must be encoding the data with special characters. Now the third we have use appropriate response headers. So to prevent excesses in HTTP response that aren't intended to contain any JavaScript, you can use content type and X content type options. So this is the option. If you are familiar with JavaScript, this is the options available to prevent excesses in HTTP responses. Content type and X content type options. So this was the mitigation techniques for excesses. Now this is parameter tampering. The web parameter tampering attack is based on the manipulation of parameters exchanged between the client and server in order to modify application state. Usually, this information is stored in cookies, hidden form fields, or URL query strings. Now, for example, if you are buying something in Amazon or Flipkart or any e-commerce website, so what you can do by parameter tampering is you can change the final value of the cart. Yes, this vulnerability is really high because you can really change the final value of cart, and it will affect the company and business as well. So if you see this example, input type hidden and all, and the value here, you can see value equals to 70.00. So here it is the vulnerable parameter here. And if you see this in URL, like if you are buying something or you are like transaction of anything, so uh, the debit, if you debit 1 and if it is 100 rupees, so then you can just deduct the value by 1. So yes, if it is reflected in your front end, then it is vulnerable to parameter tampering. Now I'll show you some small, and as I said, it is reflected in the URL. So it is the get request. So for the post request, you need to use some tools such as Verb Suite Community Edition. So this is if you attended yesterday's workshop, it was all about Verb Suite. So it is a tool for web application security testing. So let's try. Okay, so this is the same website I'm using. So you can buy anything. Suppose I buy this, sure. And you can see the price of the item is $500. So I'll just intercept. I'll just on my intercept. Now I'll just click add this to the cart. Yes, you can see all 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 the information that has been posted in the server. So you can see a price written. I hope it's visible. You can see price visible here. So if I just change it to 10, as I told you, price is the vulnerable parameter. Now I'm changing it to 10 and forwarding it to the server. Let's see what happens. Intercept off. Yes. See, you can see the final value of the cart is 10 rupees. And what it was earlier was $500. Now it is changed to $10. So you can see we can change the last final cart value of the website. So this is vulnerable. It will affect the organization as well as company's business. Now mitigation techniques for this. For parameter tampering. So using regex to limit or validate data. So regex is nothing but it is used for validating the data. So if you are inputting something, so it must be validated by the servers as well as the one who developed it. So you need to be sure that you are using some validations for it. Server side validation compared with all the inputs. So it is basically comparing your your front end value with the back end value. And if it is same, only then proceed with the buying option. Unless you may show any error or throw some error to the user or to the attacker. So it is basically comparing the value with the backend. The third is avoid unwanted or hidden data. As you can see, I was clearly able to see in the workspace the parameter price. So we should avoid unwanted or hidden data like that. So I hope you enjoyed this parameter tampering vulnerability. The next we have HTML injection. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is a technique used to take advantage of non-validated input to modify a web page presented by a web application to its users. Now this is a simple HTML code with HTML tags plus heading tag. So you can see here are the results. You can see the example. Here are the results that match your query. And if you write any query, then it is just reflected in your front end or the UI saying what query you have written in. So if if an attacker injects a HTML code there, and if it is executed, then it is called HTML injection. So let's see a demo for this too. Now this will be the payload I'll be using for HTML injection. If you're not familiar with what exactly code says, so it is the image source with, and this full is the image URL. This full is the image URL, and this is nothing but the width and height of the image, and you can just change it what you prefer to. So I'll just copy this payload and we'll try to inject it in the search option. Let's see if it works or not. And if the image appears, then it is prone to HTML injection. And if it is not executed, then it is safe. So let's see. Okay, so as you can see the image, so yes, it is vulnerable to HTML injection because you can see the whole image being executed there. So this was all about today's workshop. And yes, the mitigation techniques for HTML injection is kind of same with XSS because we are injecting it in the input section. So every input should be checked if it contains any HTML code, and also there are many functions for checking if the code contains any special brackets. So you must be thorough with HTML and JavaScript functions because it may help you to mitigate the attacks. So any questions, if anyone has, you may ask. Any questions? Okay, I got one question. As you said, pen testing is illegal. Then how can we practice ethical hacking? Okay, good question. Yes, it is illegal. So please don't try to change any data present out there. And to practice ethical hacking, there are already vulnerable websites for you. As one I suggested is Asnetics. It is vulnerable. You can just note this website. And also there are, I'll just write it in the comment section. There is BWAP and DVWA. Please note this. It will run on the local host and it is already vulnerable website and you can just check any you can just input your all the knowledge about ethical hacking because it the web the this BWAP and the DVWA contains all the vulnerabilities in top 10 list. So yes, these two are the websites you can check. Yes, sure. Sure.
No, I don't have any doubt as of now. No, I don't have any doubt.
Okay. What? Okay. Again, same question. Again, the question from the same person. What is the procedure after finding a vulnerability in a website? Okay, that is a good question. Okay, if you did web pen testing in a particular website, and if you are able to find some vulnerabilities there, then if you're working under an organization, then you must report it to the organization. And if you are like an individual cybersecurity analyst, then you must report it to the to the company itself where you find the where you find the vulnerability in there. So yes, you need to make a report out of it. And what exactly does a report contains? I'll tell you. Uh, a report must contain the payload which you are using for injecting it and what uh, and how the procedure you did to get that vulnerability. So yes, you must report it with, without without changing any data. Just keep that in mind without changing any data. Uh, yes, yes. So if you need any queries, you can contact. Please just note or take the screenshot. If anyone has questions, they may ask.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir, I'm typing the website. Yes, sir, I'm typing this. Thank you, sir. And thank you everyone who attended the workshop.